everyone that has ever donned the scarlet and gray.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Yes. And we kind of have a problem with it, but we get it. Karan shouldn't have fallen in the trap. I know what Karan should have said. Do we have it? All right, here's how it went down yesterday.
First of all, would you go as far as Jim Harbaugh did and guarantee that Michigan will beat Ohio State?
Yeah, I do. I do. That's how I feel. I believe firmly in my brothers and his team and his coaching staff. And as a captain, I'll take that stand. Why not?
So there it is.
Well, it's like the weakest guarantee, too. By the way, he never used the word guarantee.
No, he didn't.
He just answered a question with a long pause and then said, I do. It's not. This is the weakest guarantee you'll hear. And I'm not faulting Karan Higdon because it's interesting he even responded to it. But knowing how Ohio State would respond to it, or at least how they are behind closed doors, you know that they're going to print this up and say, Karan Higdon guarantees victory. This is what they're saying in Michigan. They're already overconfident.
It was a leading question.
Absolutely, 100% it was a leading question.
It was a loaded question.
Loaded.
It was a manipulative question.
Pow!
And he probably should have answered differently unless he doesn't care. I think what has happened here is Karan Higdon's been set up to be the GOAT. And by the GOAT, I don't mean the greatest of all time. He's been set up because of the way it went down. It wasn't really a guarantee. But if Michigan loses this game, Ohio State players are going to talk about, well, their guy opened his mouth. And he did. His response should have been the Bryce Harper.
Clown question, bro.
It's a clown question, bro. But he did what he did. Tim May of the Columbus Dispatch, who was there for the Harbaugh guarantee back in '86, came out and basically tweeted, yeah, I wouldn't exactly call this a guarantee. But it's portrayed as that. I mean, you could go to any website yesterday afternoon and Higdon guarantees win over Ohio State. That's what it says. Nobody cares about the particulars. Nobody cares about it being a loaded, or manipulative question. It's portrayed as that. So then Mike Weber tweets out a picture of a deformed SpongeBob SquarePants. I don't know what this is, but it says, I guarantee a win with all kinds of messed up caps and mocking it. And then Kayvon Higdon tweeted at Mike Weber, subtweeting my brother when he ran you out of your own state. And I'm like, okay, so here it goes. Now this is how it gets escalated.
Because what Mike Weber came down to a few schools at the end and chose Ohio State.
Yes. And you and I were talking during the break. It's worked out for both Karan Higdon and Mike Weber in an unbelievable fashion in terms of their individual stats.
Yes, they're statistically identical almost. Mike Weber in his career has averaged 5.9 yards a carry. Karan Higdon 5.6 yards a carry. Mike Weber's had 2,700 yards from scrimmage between rushing and receiving. Karan Higdon has had 27 and 20. Karan Higdon has 46 more carries and 100 yards more rushing than Mike Weber. I mean, they're so damn close. Karan Higdon has 27 touchdowns rushing, and Mike Weber has 23. I mean, these guys are identical, and both have been part of multiple running back systems.
And Weber's had more team success than Higdon for sure.
Oh, yes.
But here's the question we have at 248-539-9797. Do you have a problem with any of this? Some people love it. Some people don't. And by any of this, I mean including the question.
I guess the biggest issue I have is with the question. I find it funny, and at least Larry Leitch from the Associated Press, who asked the question, at least he did it. I imagine there's some tongue or some smiling when he's asking it and saying, would you go as far as what your coach? He didn't just say, would you guarantee? He gave the slightest background and said, would you give the same guarantee your coach made 22 years ago that you'd beat Ohio State? So I'm not killing him over asking that question, but I think that's probably the most egregious part of this whole thing is that he asked it anyway.
248-539-9797.